Why rich parents teach their children to finish what others quit, and why this quiet rule creates unfair advantages. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. The biggest advantage rich kids have isn't money, isn't connections, isn't private schools, and not the dramatic kind, the boring kind, the kind that keeps going when everyone else gets tired, distracted, discouraged, or bored. Here's the brutal truth. Most opportunities don't go to the smartest person. They go to the last person still standing. So the question is, why are wealthy families so obsessed with teaching their children to finish what others quit? And why does that single habit quietly determine who owns assets and who rents effort? Let's break it down. 1. The moment most people lose. Every meaningful pursuit has a predictable timeline. If Phase 1, excitement. Phase 2, resistance. Phase 3, boredom. Phase 4, doubt. Phase 5, dropout. Most people never make it past Phase 3. That's not opinion. That's pattern recognition. Gym memberships spike in January. Online courses fill up in week 1. Business ideas explode in enthusiasm. By month 3, silence. Now here's the leverage. If 80% quit in Phase 3, what happens to the 20% who don't? Less competition, more oxygen, higher probability of success. Rich parents know this curve, so they train their children specifically for Phase 3, not Phase 1. Anyone can start strong. Very few can stay strong. 2. Why quitting feels so good. Let's get honest. Quitting feels like relief. You remove pressure, you remove expectation, you remove the possibility of failure. Your brain rewards that. Dopamine spikes when stress drops. And that's dangerous, because the same mechanism that protects you from danger also protects you from growth. Rich families explain this early. They teach their children, relief is not progress. That sentence alone changes lives, because when discomfort shows up, the child doesn't interpret it as a sign to exit. They interpret it as a checkpoint. 3. The dinner table contract. In many homes, quitting is negotiated emotionally. I don't like it. It's hard. I'm not good at it. Conversation over. In disciplined households, there's a rule. You can choose what you start, but once you commit, you finish. Sports season, finish. Music term, finish. Project, finish. No dramatic speeches, no motivational posters, just consistency. And here's what that does psychologically. It separates mood from commitment, and that separation is power. 4. Finishing builds a different nervous system. This is deeper than productivity. Finishing builds stress tolerance. When a child learns that boredom is survivable, that frustration is temporary, that progress is uneven, their nervous system adapts. Now fast forward 15 years. That same person holds investments during downturns, stays in industries long enough to dominate, builds businesses through slow growth phases, masters complex skills. You think wealth is about opportunity? No, it's about emotional capacity, and finishing expands capacity. 5. The invisible transfer. Here's what nobody explains. Every time someone quits, they donate their future upside to someone else. When students drop advanced courses, the remaining students become scarce. When competitors abandon a niche, the persistent operators gain pricing power. When founders exit early, the stubborn ones inherit market share. Quitting is a transfer mechanism. Finishing is acquisition strategy. Rich parents teach their children to see the long game, because the long game has fewer players. 6. School is not about grades. School rewards completion cycles, not intelligence, assignments, deadlines, revisions, projects. Students who stay engaged through the messy middle Outperform those who disengage emotionally. Rich parents don't panic over one bad grade. They look at process. Did you complete the work fully? Did you revise? Did you show up consistently? Process over outcome. Outcome follows process. Always. 7. Why talent is overrated. Talent gives you a head start. Endurance wins the race. You've seen it. The gifted kid who burned out, the average student who quietly climbed, the flashy entrepreneur who vanished, the quiet operator who compounded. Talent creates early applause. Finishing creates ownership. Ownership creates wealth. Which do you think compounds more? 8. Why social media ruined persistence. We live in a highlight economy. We celebrate launches. We ignore maintenance. We celebrate virality. We ignore consistency. But wealth is built in maintenance. Maintenance of investments. Maintenance of businesses. Maintenance of reputation. Rich parents protect their children from chasing applause. They emphasize durability. Durability wins. 9. The identity shift. Here's the real magic. When a child finishes repeatedly, they internalize a new belief. I am someone who completes. That identity affects everything. When challenges appear, they don't ask, should I quit? They ask, how do I finish? That question changes decisions, and decisions compound. 10. Business application. Look at startups. Most fail, not because the idea was bad, but because the founder ran out of emotional runway, revenue flatlines, excitement fades, doubt creeps in, the conditioned finisher stays. They refine, adjust, iterate. Markets reward iteration, not emotion. Rich parents rehearse this early. Sports seasons, long academic projects, difficult commitments. It's rehearsal for entrepreneurship. 11. Finishing reduces risk. Here's something strategic. Investors don't invest in ideas. They invest in operators. And what signals a strong operator? A consistency, delivery, completion history. If you consistently finish projects, you lower perceived risk. Lower perceived risk attracts capital. Capital accelerates growth. See the chain reaction? 12. When others quit, space expands. Imagine 100 competitors enter a market. Within 2 years, 60 quit, 25 pivot out, 10 shrink, 4 struggle. The last one who stays consistent? They inherit pricing power. Market share expands. Brand equity strengthens. Competition thins naturally. You don't need to outsmart everyone. You just need to outlast most. Rich families understand this math deeply. 13. Finishing trains, time horizon. Wealth is a time game. Compound interest, equity growth, brand building, skill mastery. All require long timelines. If you quit short-term discomfort, you'll never tolerate long-term compounding. Now, rich parents extend their children's time horizon early. You don't get immediate results. You stay anyway. That rewires expectation. 14. The hard truth. Most people don't lose because they lack potential. They lose because they lack patience. Patience is not passive. It's disciplined persistence. It's choosing to stay engaged when excitement fades. That's rare. Rare traits create rare outcomes. 15. Installing this rule. You don't need generational wealth. You need non-negotiables. If you're a parent, no quitting mid-commitment. Reflection after completion. Emphasize effort continuity, not emotion. If you're rebuilding yourself, track completion rate. Limit new commitments. Finish before starting something new. Start less. Finish more. That alone changes your trajectory. Here's 16. The final frame. Wealth is not built by starters, it's built by finishers. The world is crowded at the beginning, it's empty at the end, and the end is where ownership lives. So the next time something gets hard, boring, slow, uncertain, ask yourself, am I quitting because it's wrong or because it's uncomfortable? Because rich parents don't raise children who chase comfort. They raise children who chase completion, and completion compounds into power. Now the question is, will you be part of the crowd that starts or the minority that finishes? Because the minority owns the majority. Always.